Hey guys, Storm here, and today for you I have another epic LEGO Star Wars base. So yeah, this base is on the planet of Omnophor. It is, it's not really a base as much as like a cool battle scene. I just tried to make this like one of the cooler bases, and I'm gonna admit it is epic. So yeah, you guys know the story. Those two ships are going to come over and save the Separatists from whatever the clones have planned. And so the story was on Omnophor that the Separatists have this little like place set up. This little my knee just cracked. Sorry. The Separatists have this little communications thing set up, and they've been sending messages to and from other places, letting them know what's happening, because this is mainly a clone planet, and the clones haven't thought to invade this area because it could damage some property. But now they're like, they've known too much, and we haven't been able to make a successful attack in years, so let's just invade it anyway. So yeah, let's just get started. Over here is like 98% of where all the greenery is, because because it's like the over there is a more productive area and stuff, like over there, and over here it's just kind of like away from everything. And even over there, the only reason that there's so many troops is because dropships just kept coming in and coming in. Really, there's only supposed to be like maybe 3 Mandalorians and a droid stationed there at any point, and the droid's meant to be a scout, so really only 3 people there. But then they just kept dropping stuff because the Separatists really need this area. And so over here you just have a lot of grass. I'll explain what happened to Mace Windu. He actually got flung by the ETRT, so this canyon here, there is the lake right here, and it's got rapids and stuff, and then over here it's just deep. Like over here it's deep, but then when you get to the more shallow part, there's rapids, and then it gets deep again. So he couldn't bring his cannon across, so he's kind of like stuck there. He's really the only guy that's stuck back there behind the river, and he's just using his machine gun powers to try and do something, but he's just like going and most bullets are just completely depleting in the air, just like, so that's kind of worthless. And he's got some plants and stuff, and then a bunch of people across the river. This clone is being extremely weird, and he's using his gold detector, and he's just waving at everybody like, "Hi, I'm searching for gold." And then you just have a lot more greenery and stuff. These 3 people were part of the sniping team. These 2 guys are just trying to launch, because they're afraid that they're going to get hit, and the Republic has no armor at all, so they're going to die if they get hit. I mean, especially the Endor people. It's got a little plant. And what happened over here? Well, let me explain to you what happened over here. And by the way, I'm doing this base. I know this is kind of random, because I'm a very disorganized person, but I am doing this base because I know I haven't made really a good LEGO video in a while, so this is something to make up for it, and this is all me. Bill did not come here at all to make this, and I made it in like an hour and 45 minutes, I'll say. So what happened over here was Princess Leia was just shooting her gun and everything, and then her gun was getting hot, so she was like shaking it and everything. And by the way, that rock was like that. It was like one of those weird cave over rocks. And so what happened was her gun was starting to get all jammed up in something. So she pulled the trigger as hard as she possibly could, and something inside of the gun exploded. It exploded, and it curled her, and her head immediately snapped backwards, and her hair was burnt off. And she's dead now because there was an explosion right up in her face. There's the shell of the gun, and then you can still see the fireball roaring under the rock, and the rock is beginning to wobble a little bit. It's beginning to sway and such. And so, yeah. And Draco Malfoy has taken the Bark Speeder to try and do some damage, because the Jedis aren't really doing too well. Mace Windu's Jedi Starfighter, Mace Windu got out of it to try and do some damage before he got kicked by the R2, and they didn't really do much damage. But he sent whatever that thing's called, the droid, the mini droid, R2-D2 type droid. Man, I can't think of the name right now, but if I think of it, I'll come back. And he's actually flying Mace Windu's Starfighter, and Mace Windu put the shell over him, and he's gonna do some damage. But he didn't actually do so well with driving already. And yes, he is floating off the ground. You see the little glass thing. Well, I can't see that, but there's a little glass thing he's floating on, so he's actually floating. He just has some weird rock formations and such around him. And you have three Ewoks, sorry. And they're just kind of chugging up like, I'm going to do some damage, and they just get shot and they're dead because they have no armor or protection at all. That bomb squad trooper is seeing how far he can shoot because he doesn't want to shoot any of his buddies. The RT, as you can see, he's like running rapidly, and Mace Windu was hiding behind him, and they just got hit in the face, and his lightsaber actually flew up as he was kicked, and it landed in his head, and it just like speared right through his head, so he's dead. Yeah, sorry Mace, but you got to die. And then the other clone is bringing up the Vark spear that way. And then there's another random plant piece. And there's actually a lot of puddles in general because there was just like a giant rainstorm, so it's really swampy here, which is why the droids are so mopey and they're all like clumped together. And I have to go get the phone now. Yeah, so that guy's kind of in the puddle, and he was actually like running to try and raid, and then he dropped his weapon in the puddle. And then he went to go retrieve it, but his legs got shot, so he's just kind of like, oh, and he's stuck in there. He's stuck in the puddle. Sorry about that little screen change. My camera was being stupid, as it always is. It's maybe HD, but it's not HD, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that guy was driving, and what happened here with Luminara was she was just kind of walking, and then she got speared in the neck. She was just kind of casually walking. It was not her fault at all. Well, the Astromech, that's what it is. The Astromech droid wasn't really focused that much, and he slammed it right into her neck, and she's just like, ah. So yeah, and then you just had the two snowtroopers charging up over there. Over here, you have the Gungan warrior walking up, you have that random dude, the ARF trooper, the white trooper, and that guy, I forget his name, the AT-AT pilot. There's some mud, because it's muddy, it's a swamp, it's whatever place. It's whatever place, yeah, that's what it is. Another little rock, and then Captain Rex, Han Solo is looking up, he's like, doo! That guy was being machine gunned by the Mando so much that he wasn't going to go down because he had such good armor, but he's like, I can't ever move anywhere, so he shot himself in the face because he's suicidal or whatnot. And then the ARC trooper is just casually running up, and Chewbacca is also casually running up with a sniper. That Mando is gonna pistol Chewbacca in the face. That guy is sniping him. That guy's like, oh yeah, GPS, I wonder what this thing does. Aw, it tells me where to go. Darn, I thought it was a big weapon. Like the general pistol thing. So yeah, there's a rock, and then there's a vulture droid, and there's two steps. They're both moving out to challenge Mace Windu's Jedi Starfighter, because if they don't stop him, and a Astromech droid gets out of control, he could just ram right into the big control room and just ruin the entire point of getting there. So they were sent there by Captain Rob, and so yeah, there's the vulture droid. Captain Rob and Darth Vader are walking up as equals because they're both awesome. I mean, Darth Vader will obviously chop Captain Rob's arm off if he does one thing wrong, but yeah, so because he has a temper like that, and they're just kind of leading this entire giant droid army. Now, the Separatists are definitely going to win with that size droid army, but there is one little issue, and it's that little astronomic droid right there, R2-D2. You can just kind of shut down all them air droids with one little... So, let's just hope R2-D2 doesn't get too many people. Or if you're a Republic fan, let's hope they do. Remember, you can decide the fate of this base for yourself if you have a good imagination. If you don't, well then, I don't know. I'm going to say that the Separatists win, but you can decide for yourself. You can decide, like, oh my gosh, both of the stabs explode in Mace Windu, and then the astronomic droid bravely shoots down the tower or whatnot. And then the tactical droids also charging up, the elite assassin droids charging up. That guy is just going to try and bomb the AT-RT, because everybody's ganging up on the AT-RT, you know it. You gotta be like that. Now, I have a question for you. How did Jar Jar Binks get through the entire line of droids? Well, droids are kinda dumb. I mean, that droid did something so dumb that Darth Vader chopped his head off. And droids can still function without their heads, so that's why that guy's still alive. That's the only death in the droid army so far. But, once that droid noticed, he grabbed his other gun and had the one gun pointing that way so that he could just kind of be like a cannon, and then had the other gun pointing at Jar Jar Binks. Yeah. So, yeah, there's that. And then the super battle droid is just kind of firing whatever he can, but he doesn't really have the good range, so he's not really shooting that much yet. He'll probably shoot more once like 3 or 4 droids are dead, and then he'll start taking up their positions. That commando droid's kind of waiting there for something to happen. Like, basically, this whole back line of droids is just waiting for if the clones can somehow break through this entire line of defense, which by that point their forces will be weakened greatly, and then they can bring in their massive force of epicness and just destroy them. So yeah, there's that. That's what that guy's doing as well. And then there's just a random green patch, and that Mando's machine gunning Jar Jar Binks in the head. Yeah, Jar Jar Binks is not gonna live, and that assassin droid is aimed at him. And Jar Jar Binks just kind of broke through right as the Separatist leader was getting out of the door, and that's probably the only kill he'll ever have, because he just shot him in the face, and the Separatist leader's dead, but now everybody's just like aiming at him, so he's not gonna survive probably like another second, because he's gonna die. And then there's all that blood and stuff, you know. And there's the other commando droid, that the whatchamacallit, the droid carrier is riding away after it deployed all the droids. And the Mando turret got destroyed over there from a previous battle they had. Not really much to that. These two assassin droids were positioned to guard the building, and also the 3 flying battle droids were positioned up there to guard the satellite. And that guy has a machine gun, and he's probably gonna make sure he kills Captain Rex. So yeah. And then there's a little satellite there. It can go up and down and stuff. You probably saw that in a 300 video spectacular base. If you haven't, checked that out, because it is a really epic video. So yeah, that's the satellite. That's the thing that transfers all the information left, right, up, down, and all those other places. There's a little nifty door that actually moves and stuff in the front of the building. You got some nice little detailing and stuff. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like nice and detailed. Whoa, I hit the proton cannon with my elbow. Yay, random pieces. I didn't use a lot of pieces. Yay. Yeah, and it's just kind of like that. And there's a window and stuff, and 2 Mandalorian jetpacks. And now, excuse me while I grab the flashlight. Once there was darkness, and then there was light. Yeah, okay. So anyway, in here we have... Wow, you can't even see that good. You have to turn your head sideways. Sorry about that, folks. I don't know how I'm going to show this, but in here you have 2 Mandos working at computers, and there's just tons of computerage and stuff there. They're sending out their daily reports and stuff, and they're sending out that they're under attack. That's how they got all the little messages out. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this epic video. That's all for today.